look who I see over there.
Hey,
Steve,
Happy New Year, buddy.
And Happy New Year to you. And let me tell you, it's been a while since podcast has taken place by the two greatest podcast members on the podcast
planet,
the podcast universe, podcast planet. And let me tell you who's been upset. Garden of Life.
Garden of Life, our sponsor.
Garden of Life, our sponsor, has been saying, hey, wait a second, boys. Okay. And I mean boys, because there's no question we are boys.
Well, let's put it this way.
We're old men. But in any case, that being said, 40 billion CFUs. I took 120 billion this morning. Why? Huh. Why do you think so? Let Jets Steve Weisgau come in. This is Broadway
Blanchard. I have no idea why this morning, out of other mornings, you felt the need to take 3 of those things.
Because it is the end of another NFL.
Oh, the end of the Jets season.
And unfortunately, as you are wearing the greatest cap on the planet, proudly, they will be resting for the 2024 campaign, which, by the way, is undefeated at this point.
They're undefeated in 2024, 1-0.
And will remain that way for quite some time, I can tell you.
September.
Duca, by the way, sent me the schedule of the Jets for next year.
Oh yeah, I saw the
like how it looks
away. I saw the block.
As if it's like difficult. I see 14 wins, and I wouldn't be surprised at 15, especially after taking these, and my stomach is calm and I'm feeling vibrant again. And I watched one Aaron Rodgers tell us he's not there next year. Right. He's there for a long time riding. He wants to play for a few years. Few. Yeah. He didn't use the word 2. He said few, which means 3.
What he said,
he said, I have to show that I'm capable of doing that and that they want me here because I want to be here.
Yeah. Well, he considers this, and he said this starting last week. He says he considers this year a lost season. So for him, it doesn't count. So he sees it as, in his head, he's like, I said I would be here for 2 years. This was a lost season. So next year and the year after, I'm going to be here. And listen, it's great that he's saying that. Good for him. And he also said some funny stuff today. But one of the things he said was, we have to get, and I'm going to paraphrase here, we have to get all the nonsense that has nothing to do with this team getting better and winning out of this building, now, which I agree with.
Wouldn't Hackett be included in that?
Huh?
Wouldn't Hackett be included in that? Nate?
No. He's not talking about that.
That's nonsense. But that's nonsense.
He's talking about outside noise, this, that, and we have to get rid of all that bullshit.
Keep your head lower because the Jets emblem keeps disappearing.
Yeah, well, he said we have to get rid of. Well, it's because I'm tilted up. We have to get rid of all of it.
You're in the kitchen.
But the funny part is while he says we have to get rid of all the nonsense and all the BS that doesn't have to do anything with the Jets and focus. That does not include him from stop going on the Pat McAfee show. That he can still do.
That's not nonsense.
That is nonsense because he opened up.
But he says it's not
on that show, and to stupidity that we have not. But why are we talking about it? But since he brings it up, the whole planet has to talk about it, and then Pat McAfee turns it into his crusade against ESPN. It's like, just stop, dude. So I wish he would follow his own advice and not go on that show and talk about dumb crap that has nothing to do with the Jets.
And I wish my wife wouldn't walk by and curse at me.
Well, I didn't see her. Did she curse at you?
It was behind you. Yes.
Did she give you the bird?
She's no. She verbalized F off in full blossoming, which I don't say that word, so I wouldn't be.
Look at that. Look at that. Are you seeing the fireworks?
Wow,
How's
that's
that?
big time. I wish I could do that.
Are you in a Mac?
Of course.
Do that. Two thumbs up.
There you go.
The camera should see it. If the camera doesn't see it, eh.
Oh, sees it. I must
All
not
right,
have that. I must not have that thing on.
Anyway,
Something at the bottom that
so that's
allows
the
you-
point. Now the thing is, I wish Hackett would go, but he's not going because Aaron Rodgers, that's his boy, so he's not going anywhere.
Right. And he already said this morning, actually, Aaron said, we got to sit down and really focus on this offense and discuss what we could do and everything. He said, because our offense has enough pieces that they should have been in the Pro Bowl and they got to be playing a Pro Bowl, but of course we had a little bit of problems.
We don't have enough pieces.
Fine.
I hate to break the news to Aaron Rodgers, but his buddy Lizard Hands can't catch a ball to save his life.
I don't think he's defending those guys anymore. He did say, other than Garrett Wilson and our new young tight ends, which are pretty good, by the way.
They're not new and they're not young. They're pretty
Yeah,
good.
no,
But
Conklin's young. Conklin's 25, 26 years old.
26. He's been in the league. Been in the league 4 years. So
all right, but he's still young, and so is
the point is, well, everybody's young.
Anyway, he's Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson are two of the top players in the whole NFL.
They're studs, and we're wasting them. The problem,
Aaron, of course, who said this was the worst season of his career, and he has to do better, and he feels that's what he said about another Pro Bowl year. He should be. He was an alternate, but he should be. He should have been first team.
Well, here's what I like about that is they asked him about he had a great year stat wise, and he pretty much said he didn't care about that because this was the worst because he wants to win, which is great.
That's it.
So
he said, I don't want to be dealing with what I'm dealing with right now, which is this time of year, and it's over. I don't want that ever again.
So here's the thing. This is going to have to be addressed properly, which it wasn't last year, because they thought completely wrongly that they could, and I said this, that they could drop Aaron Rodgers in and we were magically going to go deep in the playoffs. Wasn't true last year, and it's not going to be true in 2024 unless, nope, unless they actually do what they should have done. And this falls on Joe Douglas.
100%.
So they've said a couple things today. One of them was good, and in the same sentence, it was good. It was also bad. They asked Robert Saleh about Elijah Vera Tucker, and he said, we don't want to move AVT around the line anymore. We think that's how he gets hurt, which is true. We want to leave him in one spot, and that's it. The problem was he didn't say what spot.
What spot? He's a guard.
He's a guard.
And he probably is the best guard in the NFL, but he's a guard.
He's a guard.
Put him as
but
the
they
guard.
haven't committed to that yet.
Well, they got to. They got to commit to that. And they also, and it looked like they did. I saw a blurb of the 7 Jets that will no longer be a Jet. Mekhi Becton was on that list.
Well, he earned that.
He earned it. He will not be on
it. He earned it.
Bryce Huff was not on that list, by the way.
Bryce Huff
will be.
Here's the sad thing. Here's the sad thing. Because of Joe Douglas's F up with this offensive line, we are going to need 2 tackles. I don't think we're going
to need one because one of these guys looks like he's a tackle.
We're going to need 2. You can't rely
one stud and one serviceable good player. We don't need 2 the Brickashaws.
We need 1 veteran left tackle. The other right tackle we can try to get in the draft, and you have a swing tackle, which is Carter Warren. The problem is you got to pay for a left tackle,
right?
And that money is around the same money that they should have locked up Bryce Huff during the bye week, Joe Douglas, and didn't, Joe Douglas.
But
And he's
But-
going to walk.
But we have structure contracts that we can move around that will allow us cap money because of Rodgers and everything, and we'll be able to afford 2 guys. And those 2 guys should be the left tackle and Bryce Huff.
Well, they should be, but Bryce Huff is going to, unfortunately, and
Because
I hate
once we cut Lazard, which we're going to do, and we cut that frees up all that other money.
Lazard is stuck here, dude.
No, we're going to cut him.
You can't cut
We
him.
can get it. Well, Lazard's not going to be there this season.
He's going to be here. There's nothing we can do about it. That contract
even Aaron Rodgers said he's not the one.
Doesn't matter.
Because
he's going to be here, and that contract
we need another outside. So we trade for
you don't
Devontae
trade.
Adams.
Here's what you do. If you trade for Adams, we're done. When we have no more assets.
We're trading for Adams. We have one Zach Wilson that apparently the Raiders want badly.
You know who the Raiders are going to get for their head coach?
Belichiat.
Harbaugh.
You think he's going to go there and not San Diego? I think he's going to San Diego.
It's either one of those two. San Diego doesn't play. Doesn't have a team. I wouldn't
be surprised to see Belichiat go there.
San Diego doesn't have a team.
They have a good team.
They don't have a team.
Oh, they have a good team.
They don't have a team.
Well, who says that?
Go look in San Diego. See if you see a team.
You're telling me that San Diego doesn't play in San Diego? We were there.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Were we not there, standing on the railing, cheering along with 10,000 other Jet fans? While
we were, but that was when San Diego had a team.
And were we not cheering about the playoffs at that point?
That's when they had a team.
Okay.
So now that they play in Los Angeles,
I rest my case.
Now that they play in Los Angeles,
that's because I'm clear thinking as well from Garden of Life.
Garden of Life, CFUs, balance your gut.
I'm a clear
balance here.
That's what CFUs do.
And by the way,
digestive balance.
Yeah, and what people don't
emotional well-being as well.
Well, what people fail to understand is that your lower intestine, your lower GI, affects you in both directions health-wise.
Yes, it does. What goes out, it helps.
What goes in must go out.
And what comes in is in balance, is in tune,
right,
properly.
If your internal system is unbalanced, it's like everything could tilt the wrong way. So very important.
With that in mind, the New York Jets are on their way to bounce. I feel good already. I mean, when you see the studliness of what we did, beating up on Belicheat yesterday was just beautiful.
That was an ugly game. I will say this:
saying how great a coach he is. Yeah, he's a great coach because you can't because all of these Super Bowl dynasties had a coach and the players, but they also were a lot better without the players. If you look at Shula, when he had the no-name defense, they still had one of the best defense. There was nobody on that no-name defense. It was a Hall of Famer. Maybe Phil Villapiano eventually became it. I don't know, but there was the no-name defense. What about it up until Bill Walsh? We established that these guys were as studly as they were. Nobody looked at San Francisco. What a studly thing. Look at Montana. Look at.
Well, I'll say this. Listen, the first 3 Super Bowls that they won, I give him a lot of credit for because Tom Brady wasn't the Tom Brady that he would become. He was essentially game manager Tom Brady. So those first 3 Super Bowls, I give credit to
the first two. The first two.
Okay, first 2. I give him credit for that.
Because he was the
MVP.
I do. Yeah, he was.
Because in 2000, Tom Brady was a punk kid. He was 23.
He was a second string quarterback.
So behind
Drew Brees.
But after that,
not Drew Brees.
All Tom Brady. So
who did he replace? He replaced Drew Brees when we knocked him out.
Send Belichick off.
Are you going to help me here?
What?
Brady replaced Drew Brees.
No, no. Drew Brees played for the San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
Different team.
Okay. So
Drew Bledsoe.
that's what I said. Drew Bledsoe. Okay.
Who, by the way, got knocked out. The only reason Drew Bledsoe got replaced that season was because
the New York Football Jets
and who?
Phil Villapiano.
No, that guy played for the Raiders, I think.
Okay. Nick Bonacani.
Dolphins.
Okay. Jonathan Vilma.
Wrong guy, wrong era. So basically, you've gone on the future and in the past, and you've missed the window. It was
Mark
Mo
Scott.
Lewis. Mo
Lewis did it. Okay.
Okay.
Knocked him out and cost us misery for 20 seasons.
And the rest of the league, too. So that aside, he's done in New England. It's not official yet. It'll probably happen either towards the end of this week or next week. They're going to do this whole mutual, magical parting of the ways. Yeah. It's time, blah, 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 blah. But he's done. So it's nice to send him off with a loss to his next endeavor, which I think is going to be in D.C. Pretty sure.
Now you think he's going to D.C.? You think he's going to be the Washington Commanders?
Because the guy who owned
they're a bad team.
Exactly. They have the number 2 pick in the draft.
They have no quarterback. Oh, you're saying because
they have the number 2 pick in the draft.
Because they'll get one of those guys. They'll get one.
And they have a bunch of picks. And their owner, their new majority owner, the guy, the real owner, he owns the 76ers. He has a habit of going, I want a top star stud coach, and he gets them. He will give Belichick free reign.
Well, that's the thing, is he's not going anywhere without that. He's not going to go like, there's a way that he could stay in New England, but they want another GM over him. That's not happening.
That's not a way for him to stay in New England, because that's not what was right. So anyway, the Spanos family, I'm not sure if they do that, but Jim Harbaugh would want the same thing.
But Jim Harbaugh is 45 years old or 50 years old, something, or he's more than that.
I think he's 60.
I don't think he's that old.
I
don't think he's my age. 2 days from now, you just named my age.
Hold on. Okay. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you look it up.
And then we got to switch to the Mets.
Meanwhile,
after I look this up.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm going to let you know something about the New York Football Jets and the positives.
He's 60.
Okay, thank you. Nowhere near what you said. Okay?
60.
Okay. So he's much younger and more like, okay, we could build 10 years around this guy and he still will only be 70, blah, blah, blah. You look at Belichiat, he's old, he looks older, he's
72, I think, right? 71? I think he's 71.
71. Yeah.
I think so.
No, I know it is. He said it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Someone said he's 71.
So anyway, long story short, the Jets are picking 10th in the draft. Joe Douglas likes to trade up. He hasn't really traded down, except for 1 year.
How's he going to trade up? Who's he going to trade?
He's not going to trade up.
Yeah.
So my point is, I would like for them to trade back and get a pick in the second round, which we gave away. I don't think he'll be able to do that. So at number 10, and we're super removed from the draft, but at this stage in life, the two guys that could be, as of now, and this is obviously will change as we get through the combine in the next bunch of months. The two guys that could go to the Jets at 10, one is the right tackle from Oregon State, Talise Fuaga.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is playing tonight, wide receiver for Washington Huskies, Ronan Odunze.
I can tell you something. He's not going to make it that far down.
Roman Odunze?
Yeah, because he'll probably catch 10. He'll catch 3 touchdown passes tonight. That guy is.
If he catches 3 touchdown passes tonight, that means Penix goes into the 10, and there'll be 4 QBs in 10
And then
picks.
do we take Penix? Because if you
No.
ask,
So you have,
Penix, the only strike on Penix is how many times he's been hurt.
yeah, 2 shoulders and 2 ACLs.
Otherwise, I say he's the best quarterback in the whole.
Otherwise,
Yeah. So
and he's 24.
Maybe he slips down to the second round and we get him there.
Listen, I'd love to, but that's not going to happen. I would totally take him in the second round if we got a pick there, but that's not going to happen. But if he wins tonight, he goes in the first round. In the top 10, you're looking at him, Dan, the kid from LSU, and the 2 bozos at the top. That leaves 6 picks. 2 of those picks are going to be offensive linemen. That leaves 4 picks. Look at those balloons. 4 picks. And of those 4 picks, one of them is going to be Dallas Turner, who's the top defensive edge in the league. That leaves 3 picks. And of those 3 picks, Roman Odunze could be number 10.
I agree.
But I think they're going to take the tackle, even though he's a right tackle. So
Anyway, somehow. I don't know.
One at a time.
Okay.
Get to the Mets.
I can tell you
Ready?
something very exciting.
Okay.
The New York Metropolitans
Sadly
have made a splash.
Yeah. Sadly, the Metropolitans didn't get Yamamoto. That sucks. Not for lack of trying. Sucks.
Haven't signed Alonso to a contract because they're putting him on the trade block July 1st.
Okay, so this is great. So right now it's recorded. I said it before. I said this to you before in 2023. I'm going to say it again. Pete Alonso is going nowhere.
Okay, I said this in 23, and I'm going to say it again in 24. Pete Alonso will start at first base in the beginning of this season, but the New York Metropolitans and cheapskate Steve Cohen are going to screw the whole thing up, and he is going to be a Chicago Cub by August.
Not happening.
And I'm going to be a Chicago Cub fan.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, I doubt that. Both wrong on both.
3, Garden of Life will not be enough. I will ingest through intravenous methods 700 milligrams 2 mornings in a row.
Anyway, man, we got to wrap this up. So the big signings that the Mets have had are not very big, but they're okay.
What about Sean Meeser?
Sean Manaea. He just signed 2 days ago. Left-hander, goes a lot of innings, pitched for the Giants. He pitched great the last month of the season. His ERA was like under 2.5.
What about Severino?
And 1-year deal with Luis Severino. We'll see if he stays healthy.
We got another guy too, actually. Got one other.
Those are
Hauser or something. The guy.
Yeah, we made a trade for Hauser. I haven't seen him pitch. We signed a local boy and member of the tribe, Harrison Bader.
Wow. We represent. Cohen represents now.
Cohen representing, going to get a member of the tribe.
Good boy.
But listen, we still need a bat. The Dodgers signed I butchered the first name, Teoscar Hernandez. They signed him today to another deferred contract. Like they're doing the Baba Bonilla plan with everybody. Hernandez.
Look how well that worked before for people.
Huh?
Look how well that's worked before for people.
Well, listen, Dodgers can go out. It looks good on paper. They have Ohtani, they have Yamamoto, they have Hernandez. They still have Betts. They still have Freddie Freeman. They're still getting knocked out in the playoffs, no matter what.
They may not make it. They may not make it to the playoffs.
They'll make it. They'll win, but they'll get knocked out.
The only reason they will make it is because that division is terrible.
Weak.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So I anticipate
and admit one thing.
What's that?
The one team in New York that's been getting it right consistently for almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years.
Is Joe Rose and the New York Knickerbockers. Exactly. Okay.
Leon Rose.
Oh, Joe Rose was my acting teacher at American Academy. That's right. Okay. But similar. Okay. That being said,
He's a Rose by another name.
Rose by another name. There you go. Now, that being said, 4-0 since the trade.
Yeah.
I didn't love the trade because I didn't see the value that OG actually is, which is he is a tough son of a bitch that plays defense like Thibodeau likes.
By the way, we're going mobile because I got to get ready to leave. So we're going mobile. I got to get my shoes on. So let's go.
We're in the kitchen. We're moving. We're in the dining room.
We'll talk about the Knicks while I do this.
I can tell you that the Knickerbockers, they're playing what they're built to play now. You have Thibodeau in there, and you have a bunch of guys that don't play defense, and it looks like a mess, which is what it was.
It was a mess.
Early enough, they started bringing in guys that are doing it. You know, for a short guy, Jalen Brunson, he can guard guys 6'4", 6'5", and he's a good rebounder for a little guy. Josh Hart, they brought in Josh Hart last year. Great pickup. And then they signed him. Thank gosh.
Yeah.
Now they're playing Grimes, which I understand now why they said they could get rid of quickly and make this deal, because Grimes is looking almost as good, if not as good as Quickly already in the lineup. And he's a better defender.
Maybe.
So, you know, prior to this trade, we were giving up 120 something points. The Knicks don't do that. We haven't given up 100 points almost since of it. You're out of the picture now. You're folded. I'm looking at a bedroom.
Well, I got to get out of here. I just tied my shoes.
Okay. I will tell you that I am very happy with the Knickerbockers right now. I think we're one player away from a run at the title. And
Aaron Rodgers?
It might be Aaron Rodgers that we need. I think we need, because I don't think we need someone better than Mitch Robinson to play with Hartenstein, because Hartenstein, not a member of the Tribe somehow, is definitely a baller, a tough guy, a 20 rebound guy sometimes, everything. But Mitch Robinson needs to be in there, but he's hurt all the time. So
it happens.
Is there a way
to a lot of big guys?
I know. Is there a way to trade for a guy that's big and strong and shot blocking like him, that gets in there, that can, you know, make some offensive moves to the inside? What do you think? What are you?
I don't know. I think I got to go.
Are you going with the Goombas? What are you doing?
I got to go get my kid.
You're going to get your kid dressed like Tony Soprano?
That's where we live, pal.
Okay.
All right. So listen, I hate to cut the thing short, and I didn't have the time for the pearl of wisdom, but I got to go.
I'll give you the pearl of wisdom real quick. 1 30-second pearl of wisdom. It's a new year. Change is the only constant. Let's make change in the new year. The number one mission of the New York Jets, the New York Metropolitans, and the Knickerbockers. Change your way. We don't have to change the Rangers. They're doing fine. Okay?
Very good.
For that matter, make it your own mission as well.
Embrace change. Will.
Embrace change.
Embrace change. 48 billion CFUs.
Broadway Blanchard.
Jet Steve. I gotta go. I'll see you next time.
Go get him, Tony.